Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have IOTA in the spotlight, a bit about the token and the foundation, some of the use cases and the partnerships with this, and as always, my price predictions. Now this must be said, none of this is legal, tax and or financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's begin. What is IOTA? Let's backtrack slightly and think of this concept of the Internet of Things. All the technology, so software and hardware, being constantly connected and interacting with each other, always transmitting data. And IOTA is poised to be one of the tokens, possibly the most prominent token in future, involved in this phenomenon. So the idea of this is to overhaul the current system with how data is being gathered and stored and distributed, to decentralize this and make it cheaper and more streamlined and faster, so on and so forth. Many of us in the space see this as the way forward. A summary of some of the ideas here. Just to paraphrase a lot of this, it talks about the current system, what's happening with the advent of distributed ledger technology and blockchain, and then the benefits with this. I want to draw your attention to Tangle. This is IOTA's version of the distributed ledger. They argue that by having this, you get much better scalability, also has no fees, also secure. I guess blockchain is very secure as well, generally speaking. They argue that Tangle is a superior form of that based on how it's structured. According to IOTA, in order to make a transaction, 2 previous transactions must be validated, with the reward for doing so being the validation of your own transaction by some subsequent transaction. With this paid-forward system of validations, there is no need to offer financial rewards, and it will always be completely fee-free. And then more activity, more validation, scalability is a big issue in the space. A summary here about the foundation as well. Going through the list, I'll let you read through this. The idea of this is to get research, development, education, and to standardize and ensure the maturity and widespread adoption of the economy of things. Means of funding, great information. I see a lot of potential behind this. I actually forgot to mention earlier, currently sitting at 15th in the list of all cryptos. Price information now before I jump into my predictions. Sitting at, say, 1.2 billion for the market cap relative to Bitcoin up there at 152 billion. So a lot of potential for growth, exciting times ahead, and there's a legitimate and robust team. Now let's have a look at some partnerships IOTA's had with some major companies. This is probably the biggest by far. IOTA's formed a partnership with Jaguar and Land Rover. Just to summarize this, auto industry and the cryptocurrency world are set to embrace each other following the recent partnership between Jaguar Land Rover and MIOTA. The largest automobile manufacturer in the UK began testing software that will allow its drivers to earn IOTA while sharing their driver data. According to Reuters, IOTA will develop smart wallet technology integrated on Jaguar's cars. Data pertaining to traffic congestion or potholes will be automatically reported to stakeholders like navigation providers and local law enforcement, and the drivers will be rewarded with cryptocurrency. Participation in ride-sharing programs will also be rewarded, added the report. Now this is fascinating. If this were to take off, quick side note, could this be a potential threat to Uber in the future? Maybe 15-20 years time. That IOTA coins can be used to pay for tolls, parking and charging electric cars. The partnership will further the zero emissions, zero accidents and zero congestion goal, Reuters was told. Some price information there as well, and the rest I'll let you read that. CCN released an article on this topic, but if we go to the next day, they asked the question, does this partnership hold the key to mass crypto adoption? And the thing is, it's hard to tell at the moment. Some fascinating points raised in this article, and I'll just summarize some of the key points here. Jaguar and Land Rover are interesting as well, because the type of people who buy these cars certainly have expendable income. If they become more interested in cryptocurrency, we could see some increased demand. But will they adopt cryptocurrencies en masse as a result of being exposed to IOTA through their new vehicles? That's a very good question. Time will tell. Let's go down. This is unlikely. Paying a toll is a small inconvenience which affects a minority of the global population, and it will be years before a multitude of toll booths accept it. We can expect that of the prospective few 100,000 per year who will be exposed, only a fraction will have a use case, and of those, we don't know how many will choose to use it. Nevertheless, it's still great that it's being incorporated into this modern technology, and there are real-world use cases for it. I would like to add that it's also based on governments need to regulate the use of this as well. They'll need to legally accept IOTA or any other crypto as a form of payment for tolls, because This, as we know, crypto is poised to be a huge disruptor to the current system, where we need to see how receptive governments are. So let's say in another 5 to 10 years time, once I assume we'll get regulations and all, let's see what happens. So another partnership here is between IOTA and Everything, and this is from IOTA's blog, link to this as well. It talks about supply chain transparency. The collaboration between IOTA and Everything announced today is designed specifically for making product supply chains transparent in order to meet the urging demands for sustainability from people and planet alike. Bit about supply chains, securing this with DLTs. Everything's mission is to give unique digital identities to a range of consumer goods. Using this identity, an object, like a handbag or a bottle of whiskey, can be followed along its production chain while collecting data about its manufacturing process. And this is to combat the $500 billion counterfeit industry. In the case of organic food, the same data is useful to prove compliance to high production standards. I think this is huge. This is lacking in the current system. There is a massive market to tap into. It's very hard for the average person to tell, say, a Gucci handbag. How do you know it's not counterfeit? There are experts and people with good attention to detail that can pick up on this, but that's not always possible. So the distributed ledger technology will overhaul the current centralized system and then make it a lot easier, or make it harder for people to tamper with the data. There are definite use cases with IOTA and many other cryptos. Fascinating times ahead. I'll let you read the rest of that. This article from Smarterium, they do quite a few of price predictions. Comparing the price from 30 days earlier, or in April to now, price to attain new heights in the short term. Okay. Brian Lubin, who wrote this article, he says that by the end of this year, he believes that price of IOTA should be $1. That's it for this IOTA video. If you're interested in more videos, list of videos here and playlists that you'll enjoy. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date. Don't forget to smash the bell icon as well. And actually, just before I go, the prices, Bitcoin is on the cusp of potentially, hopefully getting back above 9,000 US dollars. Ethereum's looking good. Litecoin has held price going up. EOS still going okay. We'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful weekend. See ya.